Welcome to the Praetorian Guard demonstration part 6. Praetorian Guard is a Microsoft-based network management, network monitoring, and employee monitoring system. We'll continue with the network administration console. Where we left off in demonstration part 5 was the PC analysis. We were reviewing the RAM analysis tab, where we could view the actual total RAM, the RAM used, and average used. All this information, as we had mentioned, is printable and exportable. Next, we can view CPU usage for this time frame. So we'll choose a longer time frame and hit load data. Now we can see, if we select all the computers, we can see the maximum CPU usage, the average CPU usage, and the minimum. You can view them one at a time, and this data can be altered or grouped differently depending on how you'd like to view it. You can zoom and zoom out easily with this graph and view the more detailed information. Next is the drive usage tab. Here we'll choose a larger date range and hit load data. Here we can see the drive usage and how the performance is occurring. So the maximum, average, and minimum drive usage. This allows you to narrow down potential problems you may be having on your PCs or servers. All this data is exportable and printable, and you can edit and show data as you see fit. Next is the drive space. Here we can view, for a given time range, how the drive space performance is occurring. We can see if there's something occurring on a server or a computer and it's consuming more and more drive space than it should for a given hard drive. Notice in this grid we can see for Scram Exchange we have 3 drives, C, D, and E. We can see the total space available, the total used space, the total unused space, and more details about the computer. You can also add additional fields that you'd like to see that may not be viewed on the screen at this time. This applies to any of these grids within the product. And finally, vendor and warranties. This allows us to see everyone that perhaps is approaching the end of their warranty period. And we have no one that's approaching warranty problems at this time. If we move forward in time to 2012, we can see that our terminal server warranty will expire by this time, and it pops up as a warranty expiration, which expires on 6/18/2011. This allows us to easily narrow down on a company-wide basis all the computers that are about to expire on their warranty, etc. Next is policy violations. Policy violations allow you to see the computers that have violated your company's policies. So if we hit the high-level Tribune here so we can get all the computers, and we come in and we choose to do it by computer, we want to show all approved and unassigned. When we click load data, it will populate and show us all the computers, the ones that have approved and unapproved equipment. This is software at this time, so this is software. In addition, I can uncheck these and hit reload, and basically it will remove out the approved and unapproved and narrow down just to the ones that have violations. We can actually drill in here into the grid and see what are the policy violations that are occurring on these computers. We can also click on hardware policy violations, and just like software, we can load and view all the computers that have hardware violations. And once again, we can uncheck show approved and unassigned and quickly see just the computers that are suffering with violations. And finally is the inventory setup. Here you can set up PC hardware types such as laptops, desktops, tower servers, rack servers. They allow you to do reporting and filtering. You can also set up PC vendors. And then you can also set up brands, and for each brand, the corresponding models. This allows you to organize your PC equipment across the network and report on which quantities of a given PowerEdge server you may have on hand. Software policies allow you to easily set up all the different software that you have on your network and what's considered violations or acceptable software. In addition, you can create groups under approved and unapproved for organization purposes. So for instance, here we've created Microsoft and stored all the Microsoft software underneath it because we know those are approved, but perhaps we reject certain security updates that cause a problem with software, or maybe WinZip or some other software, whether it be WeatherBug or Google tool plugins. However you want to organize it, it's up to you, but it will allow you to monitor your network and see which software gets installed by what users on what computer. The same holds for hardware policies. Here, if there's certain hardware that you don't want to allow people to plug into their computers, and if it does, you want to know about it, this is where you would set up that configuration, and you can remove and add items that you do find acceptable or unacceptable. This is only populated as you add PCs to your network and new equipment is found. They'll populate into these appropriate directories here. We won't actually see anything at the moment because we had moved it over, but if I put it back, we see suddenly we have a little arrow here which lets us know that that's a new piece of equipment that we need to decide, is it acceptable. You can't control the groupings here as that's controlled by Windows, but you can control which ones are approved and unapproved. In addition, you can expand and collapse these using these buttons and print and export these items if you wish into Excel, PDFs, etc. Next is Backup Manager. Backup Manager allows us to create backups just like a Veritas Backup Exec or many of the other products, Yosemite, that are out on the market. The difference is Praetorian Guard's Backup Manager uses the Windows backup utility that's on every operating system released by Microsoft to perform these backups. Our backups utilize this, and we back up to network shares only. So basically NAS devices or SAN devices are supported. You can install a server with and create a share and perform backups of any PC on your network that has a Centurion and a backup license assigned to it. We'll quickly review the details of setting up a job. This screen allows you to view all of your existing jobs, those that are running, those that have been completed, scheduled jobs for the future, and summaries of those jobs, failures versus success. Praetorian Guard Backup Setup allows us to configure 3 items which are useful when configuring your backup jobs. The first is backup groupings. This allows you to create backup jobs and have all those jobs stored under different folders in your menu selection under backup jobs. You can also control backup destinations. So these are effectively shares on the network. And third, naming schemes. You can have naming schemes that reflect the way you want your backup jobs to be named, whether it be computer, by year, the day of the job, etc. It's very flexible, allows you to create the naming scheme that best matches what you would like to see on your network. We will continue in the next demonstration and cover creating a backup job and the features that we include in creating backup jobs. That's the end of the Praetorian Guard demonstration part 6 for the Network Administration Console. Please continue with the Network Demonstration part 7.